7 Signs and Symptoms of Vitamin D Deficiency. Disclaimer: if you have any medical problems or stresses, kindly counsel your doctor. Vitamin D is a critical vitamin that effectively affects a few frameworks all through your body. In contrast to different vitamins, vitamin D capacities like a chemical. Each and every cell in your body has a receptor for it. Your body makes it from cholesterol when your skin is exposed to daylight. It's additionally found in specific foods, for example, fatty fish and fortified dairy products. However, it's truly challenging to get enough from diet alone. For most adults, the recommended dietary allowance, RDA, for vitamin D is around 600 to 800 IU, yet numerous specialists recommend settling the score more than that. Vitamin D deficiency is extremely normal. It's estimated that around 1 billion individuals worldwide have low blood levels of the vitamin. According to one audit, 41.6% of adults in the United States are deficient. This number goes up to 69.2% in Hispanic adults and 82.1% in African American adults. Here are the absolute most normal danger factors for vitamin D deficiency. Having dark skin. Being an older adult. Being overweight or having corpulence. Not eating a lot of fish or dairy. Living a long way from the equator in regions where there is little sun all year. Continually utilizing sunscreen when going out. Nonetheless, utilizing sunscreen is significant in forestalling sun-damaging impacts to the skin, including skin malignant growth. Remaining indoors. Having persistent kidney disease, liver disease, or hyperparathyroidism. Having a medical issue that influences supplement assimilation, like Crohn's disease or celiac disease. Having gastric detour, a medical procedure. Utilizing certain medications that sway vitamin D digestion. Individuals who live close to the equator and get incessant sun openness are less inclined to be deficient, as their skin produces sufficient vitamin D to fulfill their body's needs. The vast majority do not understand that they're deficient, as side effects are by and large unpretentious. You may not remember them effectively, regardless of whether they're essentially affecting your personal satisfaction. If this video is of any value to you, please like this video and subscribe to the channel. Here are 7 signs and side effects of vitamin D deficiency. 1. Being debilitated or getting diseases regularly. One of vitamin D's most significant jobs is keeping your resistant framework solid so you're ready to fend off infections and microorganisms that cause disease. It directly cooperates with the cells that are answerable for battling contamination. On the off chance that you frequently become debilitated, particularly with colds or seasonal influenza, low degrees of vitamin D might be a contributing element. A few enormous observational studies have shown a connection between a deficiency and respiratory plot diseases like colds, bronchitis, and pneumonia. Various studies have found that taking vitamin D enhancements at a dosage of up to 4,000 IU daily may reduce your danger for respiratory plot diseases. In one older study affecting individuals with persistent obstructive pneumonic disease, COPD, just the individuals who were seriously deficient in vitamin D experienced a huge advantage subsequent to taking a high-dose supplement for 1 year. 2. Weakness and tiredness. Feeling tired can have numerous causes, and vitamin D deficiency might be one of them. Tragically, it's normally overlooked as a likely reason. Contextual analyses have shown that extremely low blood levels of vitamin D can cause weariness that can have a serious adverse consequence on personal satisfaction. In one older contextual analysis, a lady who complained of persistent daytime weariness and headaches was found to have a vitamin D blood level of just 5.9 nanograms per milliliter. This is amazingly low, as anything under 20 nanograms per milliliter is considered deficient. At the point when the lady took a vitamin D enhancement, her level increased to 39 nanograms per milliliter, and her side effects resolved. One observational study in female attendants additionally found a solid association between low vitamin D levels and self-reported weariness. Also, the specialists found that 89% of the attendants were deficient. Curiously, a few studies have additionally found that enhancing with vitamin D could reduce the seriousness of weariness in individuals with a deficiency. 3. Bone and back torment. Vitamin D keeps up with bone well-being in various manners. For one, it works on your body's ingestion of calcium. Bone agony and lower back torment might be indications of inadequate vitamin D levels in the blood. Enormous observational studies have found a connection between a deficiency and persistent lower back torment. One study in 98 individuals with lower back torment found that increased torment seriousness was associated with lower levels of vitamin D. Another audit of 81 studies likewise found that individuals with joint inflammation, muscle torment, and persistent widespread torment tended to have lower levels of vitamin D compared with individuals without these conditions. 4. Depression. A depressed mood may likewise be an indication of vitamin D deficiency. In audit studies, specialists have linked vitamin D deficiency to depression, especially in older adults. In one investigation, 65% of the observational studies found a connection between low blood levels and depression. Then again, the majority of the controlled preliminaries, which convey more logical load than observational studies, did not show a connection between the two. Notwithstanding, the analysts who analyzed the studies noted that the dosages of vitamin D in controlled studies were regularly exceptionally low. In addition, they observed that a portion of the studies might not have lasted long enough to see the impact of taking enhancements on mood. A few studies have shown that giving vitamin D to individuals who are deficient further develops depression, including occasional depression, which ordinarily happens during the colder months. 5. Impaired wound mending. Moderate mending of wounds after a medical procedure or injury might be an indication that your vitamin D levels are excessively low. Indeed, results from a test tube study recommend that the vitamin expands the production of compounds that are urgent for framing new skin as a feature of the wound recuperating measure. One audit of 4 studies found that vitamin D deficiency compromised certain parts of recuperating in individuals who had dental medical procedure. It's likewise been suggested that vitamin D's part in controlling irritation and battling disease is significant for legitimate mending. One investigation looked at patients with diabetic foot diseases. It found that those with serious vitamin D deficiency were bound to have more elevated levels of fiery markers that can jeopardize recuperating. Sadly, there is almost no exploration about the impacts of vitamin D enhancements on wound mending in individuals with a deficiency now. In any case, one study affecting 60 individuals with diabetic foot ulcers found that taking a vitamin D enhancement for 12 weeks altogether improved wound mending compared with a benchmark group. 6. Bone misfortune. Vitamin D assumes a critical part in calcium retention and bone digestion. Numerous older individuals who are diagnosed with bone misfortune accept they need to take more calcium. Notwithstanding, they might be deficient in vitamin D also. Low bone mineral density is an indication that your bones have lost calcium and different minerals. This spots older adults, particularly ladies, at an increased danger for cracks. In an enormous observational study in excess of 1,100 middle-aged menopausal or postmenopausal ladies, specialists found a solid connection between low vitamin D levels and low bone mineral density. Notwithstanding, a controlled study found that ladies who were deficient in vitamin D experienced no improvement in bone mineral density when they took high-dose supplements, regardless of whether their blood levels improved. Regardless of these findings, adequate vitamin D admission and keeping up with blood levels inside the ideal reach might be a good technique for ensuring bone mass and reducing break hazard. 7. Balding. Going bald is frequently attributed to pressure, which is unquestionably a typical reason. Nonetheless, when balding is serious, it very well might be the consequence of a disease or supplement deficiency. Going bald in ladies has been linked to low vitamin D levels, however there is almost no examination on this to date. Specifically, research proposes that low vitamin D levels are linked to alopecia areata and might be a danger factor for developing the disease. Alopecia areata is an immune system disease characterized by serious balding from the head and different pieces of the body. It's associated with rickets, which is a disease that causes delicate bones in children due to vitamin D deficiency. One study in individuals with alopecia areata showed that lower vitamin D blood levels tended to be associated with more extreme going bald. In another study, applying an engineered type of the vitamin topically for 12 weeks was found to altogether expand hair regrowth in 48 individuals with alopecia areata. Numerous different foods and supplements may influence the well-being of your hair. In the event that you experience balding, you might be interested in the 14 best foods for hair development. Balding might be an indication of vitamin D deficiency in female design balding or the immune system condition alopecia areata. 8. Muscle torment. The reasons for muscle torment are frequently difficult to pinpoint. There is some evidence that vitamin D deficiency might be an expected reason for muscle torment in children and adults. In one study, 71% of individuals with persistent torment were found to be deficient. The vitamin D receptor is available in nerve cells called nociceptors, which sense torment. According to one survey, vitamin D might be involved in the body's agony-flagging pathways, which could assume a part in ongoing torment. A couple of studies have found that taking high-dose vitamin D enhancements may reduce different kinds of torment in individuals who are deficient. In the event that you figure you may have a deficiency, you can find out easily by taking a blood test. Normally a vitamin D deficiency is easy to fix by increasing sun exposure of eating more vitamin D-rich foods. Your doctor may also recommend taking a vitamin D supplement. Thank you for watching.